Michelle Gray, David Bowie, and Erik. Welcome back for part two. I'm thinking of Bowie knife, like Jim Bowie. Anyway, I'm a
Well, he
Texan.
did come in on a boat this morning. I will tell you.
Oh,
We said
really?
Bowie. Yes,
Oh,
David
Bowie,
Bowie
like,
came in on the boat. Yeah,
right. We
yeah.
will we will proceed with the wonderful questions from our awesome community. We're going to talk about your wife, Iman. Was that meeting your wife, Iman, love at first sight? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, he's saying a soul connection. Um, as deep as a soul can connect. He's calling this to be a reflective of being connected in another lifetime.
Hmm.
He says they've come together in more than one lifetime, but he's talking about the compassion, but the deep compassion that he felt from her.
Hmm.
Um, he's got so much love and respect for her.
Does she
And
also
he's
have
saying,
extraterrestrial in her?
yes, yes. And he's saying that their connection is Arcturian,
Arcturian. Okay, interesting. Do you consider you and Iman soulmates or twin flames?
soulmates.
Okay. And which kind of soul contract did the two of you agree upon in this lifetime?
This one was about communication, um, working through the contrast of communication. There was also some healing that was done together, coming upon each other at a time where they both had done some healing, made some changes in their lives. And at the time that they came together, it was time to work through the rest of the healing with each other. And it keeps going back to compassion as
Mm.
being a big part of their soul contract, experiencing compassion.
She's so beautiful. I mean,
She is very beautiful.
I remember saying,
Oh, yeah.
look,
Yeah.
the two of you. All right, that's cool.
Yes.
Is it true that you were never bisexual and that act was just to make you more interesting to some people?
He's really saying that like labels meant absolutely nothing to him. He
Yeah.
says it was other people that would project labels on him. The best way that he would like to describe it is he says that um, he's maybe beyond my time, but I was always attracted to that person. I was attracted to the soul, not to gender.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the Erik said one time that bisexuality is probably more evolved. I mean, because you just love the soul, the person.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh,
All right,
he does say that he wants to add that he did find romantically he did lean more towards women.
okay,
Is adding that.
okay. All right, you were excited about the possibilities of the internet when it was first created, and you even created BowieNet. All right, now my story is that when I first time I was, oh, it's a flash of the pan. I am not going to even bother trying to learn about that. And then there was like these boards and stuff. And anyway, what are your thoughts about the internet today? I was so
Loves it.
wrong. Hmm?
Loves it. Loves it. He says you'll hear some that'll say they love it and some that say they hate it. And he says, but it all depends on what you're going to use it for, how
Oh,
you're going to
true.
use it. But he is very big on the communication, and like he's showing at the press of a button. Yes, he says, look what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Look what's happening. He's just saying, Elisa, look what's happening with all of the people around the world that are connecting with the
Oh,
information that's
yeah.
coming forward. He says this was not possible years and years ago. And
No.
look what it has done. And he says, and the lives that are able to take this information into themselves and make changes. And he's showing that spread of how it goes from one point to another. And he says, spreading so much further than we could imagine. He says, now there's so many possibilities, so many possibilities. So he says, it's a, yes. And he says, if you want to take it as a dark thing, because there is darkness,
Oh
he
yeah.
goes, there will always be some darkness. But he says, the internet is an amazing way. It's connection and communication. And he says, that is what we are. We are the intranet.
Oh,
He
wow.
says, our communication organically
But
as human
we
beings.
as people that,
Yes.
okay, right.
Yes. And he says that that's interesting. He says that what we are witnessing and experiencing with the internet is a precursor to our ability as human beings with each other.
To be telepathically communicating from, across the world. That'd be
And and I just asked him, does that mean sending like information as deep like, and he says yes, images, information, downloads, we have that capability.
when will that happen? 1,000 years from now, maybe?
Yeah, he's going quite a bit further into the future,
Okay, yeah.
because he says it actually is moving much faster, um, but he says for many not fast enough. But he says we have to understand that. Think about how the internet rolled out. Think about the hundreds of years prior to it.
Yeah.
So he says there's a lot that we have to accomplish as a collective in humanity to get to the point where we're able to, because he says that there's so much that's hidden right now. And so we have to be at a point where we're able to be vulnerable and very comfortable with vulnerability, because there'll be no need to hide anything anymore.
Yeah.
We won't live that way.
Thank you, Al Gore. Well, Erik, you could not help so many people without the internet. I can imagine doing this through Tupperware parties. Wouldn't happen. All right. David,
That's pretty funny.
Are you working with anyone on Earth right now?
Many. Yes.
Yeah, probably a lot of the
Yes.
viewers.
Yes. Yes, and he's like taking his finger with a little lightning bolt, and he goes, "You know who you are."
So, what is your specialty in helping others? Helping them create music, helping them love themselves. I mean, what's your specialty?
All of the above, but he really does enjoy working with souls that are looking to express themselves. So he says, whether that be through art forms, through music, writing, photographs. He's saying being able to take because he says the expression of the soul, we can express our grief, our pain, our love, our dreams, our wishes. So much can be transformed through different forms of art. So he really enjoys getting in deep within the soul and encouraging that art to not stay inside, but to get expressed outside to share with the world.
And self-loathing would make that nearly impossible, I guess. So that's why you really
he says hatred, self-loathing, I can't even say it.
Not easy.
Loathing. He says that, and negativity it doesn't allow you to see what's available. It doesn't even give you that picture. He says it's very isolating. So he really helps individuals in different stages of that journey to be able to do that.
Yeah. Just to say that mantra, I am worthy of love. I am worthy, because you are, people. All right. Can you talk about another life that most influenced you? One is David Bowie. I said it right. Yes.
He's showing that he's actually showing me more than one life. He shows me one as a performer. Okay, so you know how they have those sidewalk performers that well, I don't know if it's really a performer, but it's like somebody that draws caricatures.
Oh, like on Mary Poppins, the guy that chalk drawings and stuff.
Yeah, like when you're walking down the street, and the image that he's giving me is when I was in San Francisco as a teenager with my mom. We're walking on Fisherman's Wharf, and there's this guy with a whole setup and the lights, and he's like, "Oh, would you like your like a cartoon,
Oh,
a character
caricature.
cartoon done?"
Oh,
Yes,
caricature. Okay. Oh, I got it.
yes.
Okay.
So he's showing doing that, but we're talking like 1600s, but
Oh, gee.
it's different, but he's doing portraits. He's doing
Okay.
portraits, and he's running around with a he's got this like canvasy looking, it looks like material bound around his arm, and he's running around and coming up to people and asking, like showing them like people that had a lot of money like to have photographs of themselves or paintings of themselves,
Yeah.
he's saying. So he's showing me going around to people like saying, you could have this for the low price of. It's like getting something for himself and then convincing other people that, wouldn't you like a picture of yourself hanging above your table, like
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
That is cool. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically it was because you were an artist then as you are on your last life.
Yes, yes.
You can see that. Were you somebody we would know?
No, he says not famously.
Okay.
He was okay. He says that his desire was to be well known.
Oh,
That was
where
a
were you?
desire of his.
Were you in
Mhm.
Europe or were you where were you? In Europe or
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Um, Not in the same place that he was from,
Okay.
but he does say Europe overseas. He does say Europe.
Okay.
He's giving me 1600 as the time frame.
Okay.
And he's also saying that um, why he's mentioning about his desire was to be famous. Well, in this lifetime, like, yes, there was desire. Yes, like as he was coming up and having fame, like there was interest in it, but that desire wasn't the same as it was in the other lifetime. So it's like experiencing two different sides of it.
Do you want to talk about that second life or go on?
No, he says he's good.
Okay. Have you reincarnated yet?
No,
Are you, do you plan to anytime soon, like within this lifetime?
no. He said
Okay.
that
You got to
he
wait for
will.
Iman, maybe?
He said he'll make that decision much later on, but he's like he's he's kind of chuckling, like saying, "Let's just say I'm taking a good 100-year break."
Oh, okay. Do you plan to incarnate with Iman or try something different?
He says if she'll have me.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Tell us something quirky that nobody ever knew about you.
He's talking about tickling, not being able to be like handle tickling.
Oh, very ticklish, huh? That's funny.
Yeah, like he's leaning right back on this couch and he's like doing this, like defending himself, like I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
handle the tickles, I can't
Eric, you know
handle
what to
them.
do. You know what to do now.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
can spirits be tickled? I guess if they choose to feel it.
Well, yeah, he says if we would like the experience, we can make it happen, but he says it's a lot more fun to tickle someone physical.
Weird you can't tickle yourself, you know? Okay. What was the
He
most
says he just said everybody's going to try it now.
I
Everybody's
know.
going
I
to try
just
and
did.
tickle
I just did.
themselves.
I know. What's the most significant experience that you've had in your life as David Bowie? Just one more question.
He says it's really challenging to pick out one specific time in his life because there's so much significance to many points in his life. He says that really the last chapter, and he's bringing in the last 10 years of his life
Hmm.
as being very significant. Um, he's talking about being a father.
Okay.
He's also talking about walking through life with clarity, creating with clarity.
Hmm. That's awesome. Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
regrets? I have a feeling I know the answer to that one.
Since I did what I came here to do, he says he didn't walk out of this world with uh wishing that like or feeling like he didn't get to say what he needed to say because he feels very complete as he walked away from this world. He says, could I go through my life and say I maybe I shouldn't have said that to this person, or maybe I shouldn't have expressed this way. He goes, sure, there's some of those little things, but he also sees from his perspective that it was all of those things that helped him learn, that helped shape so many other experiences.
Yeah.
So regrets? No,
No.
no.
Seems like that's the common answer to that question. All right, I have one personal question to ask about. Maybe Erik has told you, David, but a producer, a writer has created a TV series, a pilot, and so on and so forth for Erik's story, inspired by true events. And also, Paolo Marino has created a documentary that's almost ready. Now, there might be in the audience producers, showrunners, something. I mean, you saw the pitch deck, right, Michelle? It was awesome.
Yes, it was amazing.
Have you seen the pitch deck, David? And do you have any advice on how to get the ball rolling now that the strike is over with?
So he says yes. He says Erik has showed it to him. He's well versed on what's happening. He says there's a lot of spiritual support to this because it affects many souls and many souls that haven't even come across channeling Erik or come across any of this type of material.
Mm-hmm.
So he says it's to bring awareness to a new, he's saying new generation of people. So he says, like he's saying about putting it out, advertising, because he keeps saying there is a lot of energy being put towards this, a lot of energy pushing it. So he says it's like one step after another. He would like you to know that this is already successful. It's already, this is a divine step. So this is something that's part of the divine plan. And he says that we all have a part in it. So really, he says, your ground crew. So you're going through the steps necessary. He says the green light is already on and you'll be getting some information soon as to the next step.
Awesome. Should I send out a flyer, email her to my email list people, if anybody out there, then I can share the pitch deck with you or not? Or just wait and the divine will take care of it?
He says just wait for now.
Okay.
Just wait for now. Yeah.
All right. That sounds great. Yeah. I mean, I really think that this is important to me, at least, because it spreads beyond the channeling Erik boundaries. And, it makes me as a mother feel like even more that Erik's your death was not a complete waste. And it has not been, obviously, but even more so if this helps others. And that's it.
Erik and David are both showing me like a gift. They're showing me a box with a red bow on it, and they're holding it and saying this is a divine gift that will reach every soul that it's meant to reach. And it is in our hands, he says.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle Gray. Check her out in the box below. Thank you, David, for hanging around for 2 parts here. And thank you, Erik. I love you both. If there's anything else you want to say, let me know.
David just says, thank you so much. And he is really enjoying what you're doing. He's just saying a thank you to everybody and thank you for communicating with him. And he just would like to let you know if you would like to call upon him. He says like he is a guide. He would, if you feel it in your heart that you'd like to speak to him, he says you don't need anything special, but call on him. Bring him in.
I use my spirit phone. All right. Thank you. Love you all.
Great.
Hit the subscribe.
Love you. Erik says, love you, Mom.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.